Welcome back to the channel. I'm Dave and this is part one of a 2-day journey into the heart of the Lake District's Western Fells. We begin in the remote beauty of Ennerdale, climbing steadily up the old track of Floutern Pass. The landscape opens up as we reach the summit of Gavel Fell, with sweeping views across the rugged corner of Cumbria. From there, we drop down into the peaceful Loweswater Valley, on the lookout for a quiet spot to Wildcamp and spend the night under the stars. Pack light, lace up, and come along for the adventure. Hello YouTube, still out and about around Ennerdale. Got the opportunity of a cheeky overnight hike. I had a couple of routes in mind, and in fact it was only at the end of this road I actually decided where I'm going to go today. One of my options was to head up over the back of Gavel Fell where we were recently, and go up to Gavel Fell and then have a walk down the Calder Valley and back along the side of Floutern Fell. However, decided against that one. My other options is where we're actually going to go today. Going to walk down to the banks of Ennerdale Water, walk along there for about a mile, head up and go over Floutern Pass towards Buttermere. But once we're at the top of Floutern Pass, we're going to turn left, head up over the back of Banner Fell to Gavel Fell, then down to the banks of Loweswater, through the woods, back up past Howforce, then back over Blake Fell, down through Cogber Moss by the reservoir and back to Lamper. Of course, going to take in a cheeky Wildcamp somewhere on the way. I've got my trusty Alp Kit Tarp Star 1 in my backpack, along with enough kit and food to keep me going overnight. So come along, let's have an adventure. As we pan around, we see Bowness Knot in the distance there going onto the lake, and behind it got Herdus and Great Bourne. And as we move to the left, you see a dip, and that's Floutern Pass, and we're going to be heading up there. Our first stop is going to be the top of the pass there. We'll be turning left and heading up behind Banner Fell and up onto the top of Gavel Fell. From there we'll see the Loweswater Valley. So just want to take a brief pause by the lake, because when I was here about a week ago compared to now, the water level is significantly higher. However, since I was up here last week, it's been raining pretty much non-stop, so all that rain and water from the tops of the mountains has come cascading down the hillsides and ended up in the lake here, and it's flowing out down the River Ehan. But looking around, it looks absolutely peaceful today. First sunny day in about a week, and already it's warm. Whenever you walk this path, it's always worth 5 minutes just to gaze across the waters. Magnificent. Gargantuan pillar in the distance, and the point of steeple, and Scope Fell, and move around to Haycock, and the shadows of the clouds on the hillside. So 2 miles in, and I've turned off away from the lake. I'm going to start to head towards the bottom of Floutern Pass. Slightly boggy ground, going through the edge of farmland, so I've got to make sure we stick to the footpath and close all the gates behind us. So as we come up away from the lake, coming along this footpath flanked with barbed wire, continue up here. I'll be going past this farm known as Winds. Local legend has it that there's many disputes regarding access and rights of way. Gonna walk through, but I'm not going to make any kind of fuss or draw too much of attention to ourselves. Let's just carry on with the walk. Those are arguments for other people. So coming up the bottom of Floutern Pass, it looks very indistinct. Got a stream running down the middle of it, and very, very overgrown. So as we come to the top of this part of the bridleway, we look back and see the outlines of where it heads. It goes down this hill into the valley. We see Winds at the bottom there, and I see a track circling around the hill in the middle distance, which heads straight down to Ennerdale Bridge. This is clearly the ancient track. We followed the bridleway up from Winds, a corridor of barbed wire, stone walls. There's no mistaking where the path goes, although there's no footpath or bridleway signs. And we're here at the highest fell wall. Here's our final gate, and we can't get through. There is a rock right against the gate. Just on double check, this is definitely the path, and that rock doesn't look like it's been put there by accident. Anyway, still a few meters short of the open access ground, so I'm going to carry on up to the top of the pass. So just coming to the top of Floutern Pass, getting towards the highest points. Really miserable path. God, such a drag coming up through the farmland. Farmer make it very clear that walkers and tourists are not welcome even on the public areas of their land. And now it's starting to open out, so all the misery being replaced with a bit of solitude and get your headspace together. So turning off path over Floutern Pass, it's a path behind me. Going up that fence, which should take us to the top of Gavel Fell. If we're going to carry on to Buttermere, as you go down the other side, pass gets very, very boggy. At least coming up from Ennerdale, the path is well irrigated. There's lots of stones. There's no stones in the path once we get onto the other side, onto Buttermere side. It's just boggy marshland. Way up, the final climb up Gavel Fell. Stopping for a breather, only 100 or so foot still to go, but yeah, it's a mountain. You can see grass all over there in the far distance with the white little pike. Hen Comb nearest to us. Fantastic views up here today, albeit a bit windy. Up to the top of Gavel Fell. Can't remember how high it is, but it's there in the corner for you. But you might have Studio Dave doing the voiceover on this, but looking at obviously Curtis Blakeborn, the ridge over to Pillar, in front of Pillar, Starling Dodd, Red Pike and High Style and High Crag. See in the distance Fleetwith Pike, Dalehead and Hinescarth and Robinson. All the hills opening out today. So just come down off Gavel Fell, got myself out of the wind, looking down into the Floutern Valley. See in the far distance Windlatter and the Windlatter Fells. I think it's in the far distance Skidder Range as well. But we're going to go down this valley, down the hill, because just around the corner on the left hand side is going to be Loweswater. So just come into sight there, it's Loweswater, and the tarn's come into view below us. Looking at the colour of it, certainly at the edges, I'm not sure if it's going to be good enough to drink from, even with filtering, but the stream's going down the side, so should be plenty of options for water. I'm tempted to, instead of going into the valley and down to the lake, to take the Corpse Road, which leads out to the left and contours around the bottom of this big mass in front of us to the left, and takes us on to Holme Force and the start of where we need to be in the morning. Looking into the mountain stream tumbling down off the mountains. So I just made my way down off the mountain, off Gavel Fell. That's about 700 foot. Just behind me is the highest fell wall. So this is round about the lowest I can actually reasonably camp. Although, of course, all around the corner there is a woodland, so somewhere around there we'll be looking to camp. It is now just after 5 o'clock. So in the next hour or so I'm going to be looking for somewhere to pitch. As we pan around and look at the bridge and the path going off into the distance, that's the path we would have taken, taking us down to the banks of Loweswater. But instead, as it's now pushing on for 5:30, and I want to be thinking about finding a pitch sometime in the next half hour or so. Not necessarily to put up a tent, but so that I know where I'm going to be for the night. Going to go up this path here. Leads onto a path known as the Corpse Path, which runs along the top of Holme Wood, which is where I was thinking of camping. In about a mile or so there's another stream and what looks like on the map a flat area. We'll see what that's like. If not, we might have a wander into the woods and see what we can find. Looking down through the trees there, we can see Loweswater. Looking great in the late afternoon sun. It's coming down low over my shoulder. And directly in front of me is the fell wall. And we're just above it. So when the time's right, when the pitch is right, we'll find somewhere to put our tent up. Obviously not too close to this path, but at the moment we are at about 300 metres, which is, to all intents and purposes, 1,000 foot, which is 1,000 foot less for us to climb tomorrow when we go back over the hill and back over towards Lamper. Oh man, look at this beautiful stream. Oh, the fell runner coming down as well, but up there I think there might be a pitch. Let's go and have a look. Okay, so it's a flat area closer to the path, but there's an awful lot of cattle poo around there, so come upstream a little bit. It's not quite as good, a little bit of a slope, but I think we should be okay here. We should just about be able to get a pitch on. So got the TP pitched, got a sweet spot right next to this stream. That's my view in the morning, straight out of the Loweswater Fells, and this is where we are. Not perfect pitch, bit of a slope, but it seems to work. Okay, so we've got everything set up, just starting to relax, and it looks like I've got some company. Who's afraid of cows?